Hey guys, we're going to do something we haven't really done before, gray blending on dark strawberry hair color. So keep watching to see how we created this nice natural blend. Here's my clients before, lots of grow out, just a few little slivers of gray. And we're going to use Schwarzkopf Blonde Me with 20 volume and Olaplex. To do her foils, we're going to do really fine little baby lights. Sometimes I will do a standard weave, but because she has such a small amount of gray, like she really doesn't have any, but just seeing those like one or two pieces was enough to be like, nope, we need to throw something in there to blend that out. So I don't want to go in too heavy-handed with doing these highlights because I don't want her to feel like she's going to have grow out just for like two pieces of gray hair. So I want to make sure that she's able to go a while in between without feeling like she's going to notice like a heavy line of grow out. So you'll notice that all of my foils that I'm doing are just really super fine baby lights, like even less than that. Have you heard of the term strand lights? The term strand lights, where you're basically just picking up little strands of hair and weaving those. So that's kind of what we're doing. A little bit more of a strand light versus baby light, but still weaving to create the softest blend possible. You can see a little bit better on this side of the head as I'm foiling how fine of pieces I'm picking up. And we're going to continue that around her whole head. I asked her, does she want to have like a money piece or feel extra bright around the hairline or anything? And she doesn't. She just wants to have a nice natural blend all over. So because of that, I'm not going to go and do my typical money piece like I would on every other client. She still really likes her natural color and she doesn't want to go into heavy-handed where she feels like a blonde. She still wants to feel like her natural kind of darker red hair. I know that she doesn't have like such a very strong red tone to her hair, but she definitely does fall on the strawberry spectrum. So it is a little bit darker. You can see around her hairline where her hair is a little bit more fine and a little bit lighter. She has a little bit more of a copper tone to it. So she really wants to maintain the majority of her natural color, but she wants to feel a little bit kind of just naturally a little bit brighter, just some softer highlights and maybe some just kind of blend through the ends of her hair where it's already a little bit lighter, kind of brighten it up a little bit beyond how it's brassy. So we're going to go through, do just a partial foil. She wants to keep her dimension. You'll see that my subsections are about maybe half an inch, maybe a little bit over half an inch or so. And then we're still going to go through and just continue our really fine weaves. And we're just going to continue these really fine foils up the other side of the head and up through the back. You'll notice that I am taking obviously these really fine foils, but every now and then I'm going to do a little bit more of a standard weave versus just such a fine weave. And that's because even though she wants to feel really soft and natural and like super minimal foils in her hair and not be too light all over. I do want her to feel like she has a little bit of definition here and there. So if you change it up like every two foils or something like that, where you do a little bit heavier of a weave, she's gonna see just little pieces of blonde that stand out every now and then. Not like a whole bunch, but she'll feel like she'll have some extra bright pieces of blonde just here and there. All right, we're gonna finish up these foils going up the side of her head and then also in the back, you can see just up to the top of the crown. And now we're gonna move our way back to the side and just make our way straight across the top of the head to the other side. As I'm making my way over the top, you can see that we are putting in quite a bit of foils. We are foiling not like too heavily or anything, but we are packing a lot of foils in the hair. But because we're doing such fine pieces, she's not going to feel like she's overly lightened or overly blonde. She's still going to maintain the majority of her natural color, but we're just going to brighten her up nice and softly. So that way she's going to feel kind of brighter, blending with her little grays that are starting to come in, but she's still going to have a really soft amount of grow out. So I think it's good for people to see that just because you throw a whole bunch of foils in doesn't mean that you have to over lighten the hair. You can still do a minimal amount of lifting, but do a lot of foils at the same time just to get a good, really good blend throughout the whole hair. But that doesn't mean that you have to over lighten and necessarily go super bright. If you can see up through where the foils are, how fine these sections are that we're taking, then you'll be able to understand like how minimal of highlights she's going to feel like she has. She's not going to feel too bright. She's going to feel like she's maintaining her natural color. And this is just going to blend with those little soft grays that are starting to show through. Like really minimal. But hey, you know, if you have any gray hair, then you know just seeing one is like, hell no, take me to the salon. I got to cover this up. So if this is what we got to do, this is what we got to do. We're just going to throw some really soft baby lights in here and take care of it. We don't need to do an all over dark color. Let's just get rid of it and blend it out the best that we can. We don't need to do anything harsh and go super blonde or anything. So this is the way to go for blending gray. It will honestly be really interesting to see as she continues to gray over time. I've had clients in the past that are very strawberry and copper toned, and when they gray, it's like their strawberry blonde hair turns almost like a copper gray color. It's really interesting, and I think it's so pretty. I think strawberry redheads gray the prettiest because it's such a pretty lighter tone of like almost this silvery coppery color. It's really hard to explain, but when you see it on someone naturally as a redhead, I feel like it's absolutely gorgeous. Now that we're gonna finish up these foils over the top of her head, we're gonna go through and just paint through the ends of her hair. She does have some old color that has grown out, and she wants to brighten it up a little bit more so that it's not just like a brassy color. So we're gonna lighten just through her ends a little bit, do some weave back comb just so it kind of has a softer, like, brightened ends, flows a little bit better with her hair, make it look a little bit more intentional than just like some brassy ends that haven't been maintained or colored in a long time. So after I'm done with my application, I'm going to let her process for about 30 minutes and then I will check her, make sure that her ends are lightening as much as the top of the head, where the foils are a little bit closer to her scalp and they have the insulation and the heat from her head. So they're going to process a little bit faster. And one way you can help the ends of the hair process better is by tucking them in between the foils that are up to the scalp. That will help give them a little bit more heat and help it process a little bit better. All right, here's her full application. And this is some of the footage that I put on my Instagram, Modern Blonde by Christy. If you want to follow me on Instagram, there's my handle. And here we go, checking the ends of the hair. And you can either reapply, or what I like to do is just blast it with some heat for a few minutes, let it process again for like 10 minutes, and then it should be good. And here we go, 10 minutes later. So you can see that all it takes is just a few extra minutes. Don't rinse too early. Like sometimes just blast it with some heat, let it process 5, 10 extra minutes, and that will usually get you past that level 8, 9 that you feel like you're getting stuck at. Here's my color formulation. We're going to do half 9V and half 10PA with just a little drop of the rose gold. We're not trying to go for like a super ashy tone. We just want to go for like a nice bright blended color. I feel like when you have really warm hair, doing too ashy and too silvery of a highlight, just it kind of competes with each other. It's not like a it doesn't blend well together, I feel like. So instead of doing like super icy and silvery blonde highlights, I figured we just go for like a nice and bright tone instead of too ashy. So we're just going to throw some curls in her hair, and you can already see, like, as I'm styling, she has a nice overall, like, lighter appearance, but nowhere, like, you can't really see any super streaky, like, distinct highlights. She's very, very blended. She might have a few PC, like, blondes here and there, but generally, like, she's just pretty naturally blended all over, which she was really happy about. And then some of her brighter ends. Like, I mean, she's gorgeous. Like, look at those eyes. Like, can like all die over her. So here's her before again. It's crazy to think like how dark she was, because I feel like we didn't do any heavy blonding, but it just really lightened her really nicely without feeling like it's too bright or too harsh on her. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you like this video. I think it's something different. Some gray blending on like a darker reddish hair color. Haven't really done this before, so I hope you like this video. I'm really loving that blend. I think that turned out so good. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Also, I'm trying to hit 50,000 by the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe.